message to those who are eligible to vote.
I think the new location is a great idea. It's right here on State and Adams, available through the Red Line and the various buses. So people can come during their breaks and during the time that they have, because it's a very busy world right now. A lot of things going on. I think people just want relief and they want betterment.
And so here's your reminder, there are early voting hours 7 days a week. They add an hour just as the March primary approaches. And this is the year where if you're 17 now and you're going to turn 18 before the general election on November 3rd, you could come and register to vote in this primary today. Reporting live, I'm Joni Lum. Back to you.
Thank you, Joni. And Fox Chicago has you covered for the primaries. Beginning Monday at 6, Parashutz will host a series of debates with candidates in the top races to watch. And that includes the battle to replace retiring Senator Dick Durbin, Cook County assessor, and more.
All right, let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Emily Walls, who is, I think, everyone's favorite person this week.
You know, I would agree. I think people like me more this week because I've been full of good news. Temperatures today were very nice in the 30s and 40s. We actually tagged 50 in LaSalle previously today. Right now we're sitting at 35 degrees at O'Hare, 34 the Chicago lakefront, same thing in Gary. So we're definitely running cooler at the lakefront, down to 31 degrees in Waukegan, but it's 48 in LaSalle, 42 in Morris, 39 in Rensselaer, and it's 40 degrees currently in Aurora. Here's where we're headed. So the next few hours, we're all going to be dropping through the 30s, and then I think by 10 p.m. or so, a lot of us are going to be sitting pretty close to 30 degrees. Eventually tonight, we're only expected to fall into the mid to upper 20s, which, by the way, is above average. Average low for this time of the year is right around 21 degrees, so we're staying just above that. And we're counting on southeasterly winds becoming southerly right around 5 to 10 miles per hour. The out-the-door forecast for your Friday looking so nice tomorrow morning, and temperatures are going to warm up rather quickly. I think by 10, we're already going to be in the low 40s. Lots of sunshine expected tomorrow, and high temperatures eventually are going to be warming up into the 50s, and they stay in the 50s for the next 5 days. I think by early next week, we're in the upper 50s. Your full forecast is coming up.
A student was arrested today. Police say he threatened a high school in Northwest Indiana. This all happened yesterday. Police say the student posted a threat to shoot up Mr. High School on Snapchat. School resource officer identified him and police went to his house. He's in custody now at the Lake County Juvenile Detention Center. No major developments tonight in the search for Nancy Guthrie, but Savannah is sharing these old family videos and photos of her mom. She also thanked everyone for their prayers and hope and says they will never give up on her.
Joining us now is Charles Latabaudiere with TMZ. Thank you, Charles.
Hey, how are you guys doing?
We're good.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I know it's been a busy afternoon.
Caught me in the middle of all kinds of stuff going on.
Right. So tell us the latest. We saw earlier that they put up that white tent, but I know you've probably seen a lot more since then.
Yeah, the white tent that went up around the front door of Nancy Guthrie's house is really puzzling to me because it's been open for so long. In fact, we've seen pizza deliveries go to that front door. So for them to be, cordoning it off like that now seems strange. But there are clearly a lot of things going on in this investigation, including we know that the FBI is looking very closely at a Ring video that was posted on a neighborhood app, and that video shows someone, a man, carrying a backpack. He's wearing a backpack and carrying a backpack. The one he's carrying looks very similar to the one in this video you're showing here, that the images that the FBI released earlier this week. And they're just curious if this is the same individual on that Ring camera video, which was recorded about 5 miles away from Nancy Guthrie's house and about 19 minutes before the video of that individual at her front door. So it's certainly possible logistically that it could be the same person. So police, we know, are looking very closely at that. And then the other development we had today was a new note that arrived in our inbox this morning around 8 a.m. From the individual that we got an email from yesterday, where they are requesting 1 Bitcoin in exchange for information about the kidnappers. In fact, the sender of this email claims that they know exactly where authorities can find the kidnapper. So, we have, of course, forwarded that to the FBI and waiting to see if that goes anywhere. or if they actually give this person the Bitcoin. We've been checking the Bitcoin address that they've included in the email, and there's nothing that's been deposited there. So far, at least, it seems the authorities are not willing to play ball with this person, whoever they are, claiming to have the information to solve the case.
Yeah, Charles, any more information on the glove that was found near Nancy's home or on other potential evidence?
There was actually, now it turns out they're saying there were two gloves, two black gloves found about 1.5 miles away from Nancy's home. Authorities have not said anything more about how they ended up there, if they are the same gloves as the individual we saw at Nancy's front door. But, I will just say that it all seemed strange to me that police wouldn't have seen that before, and that it was only seen after those images came out. Maybe, look, hopefully it is actually something that's going to lead them, give them a clue as to who's behind this. But I also know there have been a lot of people sort of exploiting the facts that are coming out, the few facts that are coming out, certainly with some of the tips that they're sending and, other things that basically people just trying to get involved in a case where they should very clearly just stay out of it.
Yeah, and Charles, also, let's talk about the surveillance video that the investigators are now asking for, suspicious cars or people that people might have seen on their video. Why now, all of a sudden? You would think that they would have asked for that before.
There's clearly something they have seen now about a vehicle that they are at least questioning, because early this morning, the first information that came out was that they were looking for two specific days, January 11th and then January 31st. And they were asking neighbors to check their cameras for any suspicious vehicles. And then this afternoon, they said, no, we want you to check for the entire month of January if you see any suspicious vehicles. What's interesting is that they're not describing the vehicle they're looking for. And I guess suspicious vehicle just means a car that you don't recognize as belonging to any of your neighbors. So they want people to look for that. And maybe part of the reason, and now police did not say this, but part of the reason they're not saying what the car looks like is they don't want to create a bias by people in the neighborhood. They just want them to call it out. And then if it happens to match the one they're looking for, that's their corroboration.
Yeah. All right, Charles, host of TMZ, thank you so much for taking the time. We know you're busy and have to get back to work.
All right, thank you, guys.
New accusations tonight against DCFS. It has to do with the agency's involvement with the family of Markel Pierce. He's the 8-year-old boy that died in Round Lake Beach.
His mother and her boyfriend are charged with his death. Leslie Moreno is live with new details. Leslie.
Hey guys, good evening. I've reached out to DCFS to see if there was any history with the family. The agency claims that the family was not receiving any services and they couldn't provide any other details or information because it's an ongoing investigation and because of confidentiality issues. However, the Cook County Public Guardian is speaking out tonight. They're accusing DCFS of not being transparent after the death of 8-year-old Markel Pierce. The organization says there is no confidentiality to protect in this case because the child is dead. He also points to state laws and DCFS rules that allow the agency to release information when a child has either died, been critically injured, or when a parent faces criminal charges, which all three apply. The agency has so far cited confidentiality rules and has not released any details about its involvement with the family.
DCFS's statement was very slippery, frankly. It said that the family was not receiving services in the present tense. Well, was it ever receiving services in the past? We don't know. DCFS won't respond. In terms of confidentiality, that is just not true. DCFS has explicit authority under the law to release information when a child that DCFS was involved with has died. DCFS is not being transparent. Why? I can't tell you because we don't have the information.
And if you recall earlier this week, we also spoke with a daycare director where the child was enrolled. She said she spoke with DCFS before the child's death about her concerns. And we actually just heard back from DCFS here in the last 30 minutes or so. They provided the following statement. It says, quote, as stated, we are unable to provide further comment about the specifics of this case at this time. DCFS will provide additional information in consultation with the Lake County State's Attorney as soon as we are able to do so in a way that does not interfere with the investigation. DCFS's priority is to support law enforcement as they pursue justice for this tragedy. That was the statement that we just received from DCFS here in the last half hour. We will, of course, have more on this coming up tonight at 9. We'll toss it back to you guys in the studio.
The Southwest Metro line is back up and running. A freight train derailed yesterday near Chicago Ridge. Crews worked through the night, clearing the track. Some of the derailed cars were moved to an open lot nearby. Still no word on what caused the derailment. Well, have you noticed those free burrito billboards are popping up all over?
But not everyone is happy. One alderman is calling them dangerous and wants them taken down.
And it's the end of Operation Metro Surge. ICE is leaving Minnesota.
Data centers have become a controversial topic across the country, but especially in our area. Coming up, we're going to show you why the city of Aurora has put a temporary pause on building any more data centers and why there's an open house tonight where they want to hear from you.
Ashley.
Aurora wants to hear from people about data centers. There's an open house tonight at 5:30.
Brett Pagansky is there. The city just put a hold on these things, Brett.
And the reason they did that was the unknowns. They were talking about if they have more data centers in the city of Aurora, what is that going to do when it comes to electrical use? And then what's it going to do when it comes to water consumption, since a lot of these data centers require a lot of water, a lot of electricity, which is why they put a 180-day moratorium on any new construction on data centers. But the thing is, that expires on March 25th, which is why we are here now at the Public Works Center over here on Liberty Street, where they're having an open house that starts in less than 20 minutes. It goes until 7 o'clock. And this comes after the city approved the Cyrus One data project in 2017. And we have heard from some residents recently talk about how loud they are and how they can hear them from their backyard, and they're concerned about the potential long-term health problems. And they're also concerned about the amount of, as we were just talking about, water and electricity that these data centers require to operate. However, the city of Aurora still feels like there's a place for data centers as long as they follow what they consider to be sustainable practices and, of course, not hurt your money at home with what we've been talking about here a lot on Fox Chicago, skyrocketing utility bills.
I think that you can do things sustainably, and also it'll probably end up saving them a lot of money in the long run. If you're using less energy, that's something we want to see, then that's less money for them to pay in their utility bills. If they're using less water, it's the same thing. So I think that it can be done, and I think they maybe just need a little bit of guidance and to understand what our citizens care about in terms of those requirements, and it should probably help, put them in the right track.
And speaking of those requirements and regulation, this comes just 24 hours after some Illinois lawmakers have proposed putting what they consider to be their own guardrails on data centers, specifically having some of these companies pay for the transmissions cost themselves instead of passing that cost onto you, the consumer at home. So certainly we're going to be inside this meeting. You still have time to get here. It starts in about 15 minutes. We're live in Aurora tonight. Brett Gansky, Chicago.
President Trump's border czar says he's ending the surge of ICE agents in Minneapolis.
Sylvia Perez is here. Sylvia, are all the agents leaving?
Well, Don and Terrence, not all of them, but border czar Tom Homan says he is sending home most of the roughly 2,000 federal agents that are there. And this ends the 2-month operation that led to thousands of arrests, angry mass protests, and the deadly shootings of 2 U.S. citizens, Renee Good and Alex Preddy. During a heated hearing on Capitol Hill today, some Republican lawmakers blamed the state's Democratic leaders.
As a government official, would have said, back off. Let us work with ICE. Let's cooperate with them. Let's see if we can't de-escalate this. But Attorney General, you did the exact opposite. And 2 people are dead because you encouraged them to put themselves into harm's way.
Everything you said was untrue. It was a nice theatrical performance, but it was all lies.
Congress is also up against a tight deadline to reach a deal on ICE reform or let funding for the Department of Homeland Security and other agencies lapse at midnight tomorrow.
I just plead with my Democrat colleagues. I mean, whatever your issues are with Border Patrol and immigration, et cetera, don't shut down FEMA, TSA, the Coast Guard.
Republicans may make the decision that instead of dramatically reforming ICE and other parts of the Department of Homeland Security with their out-of-control immigration enforcement efforts targeting American citizens, Republicans would rather shut down FEMA, shut down the Coast Guard, and shut down TSA. And if that happens, it's on them.
The DHS funding package failed to advance in the Senate today, so a partial shutdown is nearly guaranteed. Dawn?
Thank you, Sylvia. Greenhouse gases emitted from cars, trucks, and power plants will no longer be federally regulated. The Trump administration is reversing an Obama-era ruling known as the endangerment finding. For nearly 2 decades, the federal government has regulated those emissions after the EPA determined greenhouse gases pose a threat to public health and could be regulated under the Clean Air Act. But President Trump argues the finding is unnecessarily expensive and threatens American energy dominance.
Under the endangerment finding, they forced the hated start-stop feature onto American consumers, which unnecessarily shuts off a car's engine when you stop at a red light.
The White House says the repeal will save Americans roughly $1.3 trillion. That is in part due to making new vehicles cheaper. But critics argue any short-term gains would ignore the longer-term impact of climate pollution.
The repeal will hurt kids with asthma. The repeal will hurt homeowners and destabilize insurance markets.
The repeal is likely to face legal challenges since the Supreme Court affirmed that greenhouse gases are air pollutants subject to Clean Air Act regulation. Speaking of the air and those temperatures, let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Emily Walls. That looks like a picture outside. It felt great today.
It does. It felt nice again today. Temperatures were definitely a little bit cooler than where we were yesterday, closer to the lakefront, because we had that flow coming in off of the lake, keeping temps in the 30s. But for the most part, it's been another nice above average day for February. We ended up making it to about 50 degrees in LaSalle, now down to 46. It is 40 in Aurora, 35 at O'Hare, 34 in Gary, same thing in Valparaiso, and we're down to 31 degrees currently in Waukegan. Here's where we're headed. So tonight we're dropping out of the 30s down into the 20s. A lot of us are going to find our overnight lows sitting in the mid to upper 20s, and then tomorrow looks wonderful. Lots of sunshine. High temperatures are going to be warming up into the low to mid 50s tomorrow afternoon. And then looking ahead to Saturday for Valentine's Day, I think we're starting off in the low 30s, and then during the afternoon very easily making it into the upper 40s to low 50s and forecasting a high of 50 degrees for Saturday. On Sunday, we're partly cloudy. Highs are going to be right around 54 degrees, and then it gets even warmer going into the beginning of next work week. So we're going to be mostly cloudy on Monday, same thing on Tuesday, but high temperatures looking fantastic. We're going to be right around 57 by Monday afternoon.
Now, time for this week's Toyota Talks.
All right, day 2 of spring training here for the Cubs, and we are joined now by ESPN 1000's Jesse Rogers. Jesse, I mean, talking to some of the guys in the clubhouse, it really feels like the word they've been using is unfinished business. And you look at that heartbreaking loss in the NLDS there to the Brewers. I mean, I imagine going into the offseason, they're extremely motivated. Day 2 here, what have you observed so far with this team?
Well, let me pick up that vibe, that thread you just mentioned here, because I was here a decade ago when in 2015 the Cubs made it to the playoffs, eventually lost in the NLCS, and then came back and won the World Series in 16. And I distinctly remember Chris Bryant right here in the building in the clubhouse talking about early in 16 picking up where they left off in 15. And that might be the vibe we're feeling here. Now, there's a whole new pitching staff, bullpen-wise, so some things have to be figured out, but there is that kind of a vibe of picking up where they left off last year, and that's a great thing because you want last year to be the foundation, and you want the ceiling to be the World Series, of course. So that's the feeling I get. I don't know if it's exactly the same as 15 to 16, but I mean, it kind of works 25 to 26, right? A decade later, we'll see how this all turns out. But first things first, we got to get these pitchers and catchers on the same page because, like I said, it's a brand new bullpen along with Edward Cabrera and the starting staff.
Across America is up next. We take you to Tennessee, where love letters from World War II are going on display.
And in Alabama, a barbershop is offering more than just haircuts. Their new initiative when we come back.
begin across America to Tennessee, where a suspect tries to hide from police in a trash can.
But eyes in the sky help pinpoint exactly where he was. Here's the moment he got caught.
All right, they made contact with an individual inside a trash can.
Air 1, how you dinner?
I like ribeye steak.
Got him. The suspect was on Nashville's most wanted list for months. They were able to find him using a thermal camera that showed the trash can was glowing red hot.
When I say Vias, you say tacos. Vias! Tacos! Tacos!
A roadside taco stand in Los Angeles has gone viral, all thanks to Bad Bunny's Super Bowl halftime show. Yes, you heard it. So the taco place made a cameo. And now customers are lining up down the street for a taste.
Yes, tacos. All right, inside a barbershop in Alabama, Clippers hum and sports debates bounce off the walls. But underneath the noise, something deeper happens. The chair becomes more than a place for a lineup. It becomes a sounding board, a confessional, a checkpoint.
Kids will just start opening up and saying what type of experience they had in relationship with their friend. And sometimes that leads us into a conversation of where there was some negative influence there. And then we talk through it, okay, in that conflict, how did you feel? You know, what did you do?
Those questions matter because the initiative targets boys ages 8 to 14, critical years. One voice of guidance can just outweigh a dozen negative influences. The director says the initiative started with one simple understanding: people open up where they feel safe.
A Nashville exhibit getting some attention just in time for Valentine's Day. Hundreds of love letters between a World War II soldier and his sweetheart are now on display. They are between soldier William Whitaker and Jane Dean. The two first met at a historically black college in Tennessee. Well, they lost touch, then reconnected when Whitaker enlisted in the Army in 1942. The pair exchanged letters for several months, married in the same year. The library says while the letters are romantic, they also give insight into what it was like to love during wartime.
They give this in-the-moment perspective of what that's like and what it's like just navigating certain racial issues, certain gender issues, their work, the life of a soldier, all of these things. This is a very valuable collection in that respect.
The library says it has not been able to find any living relatives of the couple, and most of what they know about them is from those letters.
We've got smartwatches, smart TVs, and now smart underwear. Yeah, scientists at the University of Maryland just made a sensor that clips onto your drawers. It's designed to track the hydrogen you give off when you toot.
Oh, goodness.
F-A-R-T. The device helps scientists revisit long-standing assumptions about how often people actually fart. It also opens a new window into measuring gut health. So now a nationwide study is looking for volunteers to test this out. I'm good, because one wrong spark, and it can go wrong.
I thought when you said smart underwear, it was going to be like for tracking purposes. Who knows? It is year 11 of Chicago Black Restaurant Week. I'll go through the history and take you to some local eats.
And Mayor Johnson says Chicago is truly having a moment. And listen, he brought the receipts.
Menards.
Now at the bottom of the hour, sunny skies and a warm-up. It's all headed our way.
People in the south suburbs will soon be able to get Amazon packages delivered by a drone.
First, in Bucktown, a billboard offering a free meal has drivers taking notice.
But some are asking, is it a tempting offer or a traffic risk?
Casey Cronus is live with what we found. Casey.
Hi, Don and Terrence. Well, a social media post about the ad just yesterday sparked hundreds of interactions online, even catching the attention of local officials. And it begs the question, should QR codes be allowed on billboards?
A bright yellow billboard in Bucktown is turning heads. But is the promise of a free burrito brilliant marketing or a recipe for distraction? Located near Damon and Elston, in clear sight of drivers who are traveling south over the Damon Avenue Bridge. The offer itself isn't the concern. It's the giant QR code next to it. Some online and others we spoke with admit they'd be tempted to scan it, even behind the wheel.
You know, the thought crossed my mind for sure.
Carter Smith says he recently spotted the ad while walking to the gym.
I haven't scanned it, but I have snapped a picture of it to send to my friends who love burritos. I was walking, given I wasn't driving.
So who is behind it? The ad takes you to the app for Guzman y Gomez, a restaurant chain with 8 locations in the Chicago area. Its Bucktown restaurant opened in December. The offer is legit, with a free burrito voucher appearing about 10 minutes after making an account.
What is it doing to distract drivers, if anything? That's usually the first question.
32nd Ward Alderman Scott Wagasback says his office was made aware of the ad this week. He tells us there are restrictions for highway billboards, but this is up for debate.
If you're on the highway, there's restrictions in terms of the changing images, so they can't change the images so fast that a driver is distracted by 1, 2, 3 ads going up in quick succession.
Still, he's asked the Chicago Department of Transportation to look into it.
This is super busy. In the morning, basically people going to work downtown or to the suburbs. It's a highway entrance right nearby. Obviously, we're starting to get contacted in a way that's like, hey, this could be a distraction. But the thing I would say to that is if it's not offensive, it's a free speech issue, then you as a driver have to be responsible for the way you drive. And pulling out your phone to take a QR code off this, on the screen is probably not responsible at all.
And new tonight, we just spoke with a rep for the restaurant who tells us this ad was actually only supposed to be up for a limited time and should have come down in January. They tell us they've just contacted the billboard company asking them to remove it. Reporting live in Bucktown, Casey Cronus, Fox Chicago.
All right, today wasn't too bad. Tomorrow is when we start warming up. So today was kind of like the supporting character. Tomorrow, main character energy.
Yes, main character energy. Tomorrow, we'll keep that going right on through the weekend. And then early next week, it's going to get even warmer. So things are really looking up here in the next few days. Your temperatures right now ranging from the low 30s in a couple locations right along the lakefront. Only 32 in Michigan City, 31 in Waukegan. But we're still at 47 degrees in LaSalle. It's 35 at O'Hare, 34 at the Chicago lakefront. Same thing in Gary. Tonight, we're dropping down to about 28. We'll have southeasterly winds, 5 to 10 miles per hour. Skies are going to be mostly clear to partly cloudy tonight. And then tomorrow morning, lots of sunshine. Temperatures are going to be warming up just fine. I think by 10, we are already going to be in the low 40s and then low 50s expected tomorrow afternoon. So your high temperature on Friday, 52, 53 degrees for a lot of us. And then on Saturday, we're expected to be right around 50 for your Valentine's Day. Sunday, partly cloudy conditions. High temperatures are expected to be right around 54. And again, it gets even warmer early next week. Those details coming up in your 7-day.
All right. Thanks, Emily. Amazon getting ready to bring drone deliveries to the south suburbs this summer. Prime Air will serve customers near fulfillment centers in Markham and Madison, with some packages arriving in just a couple hours. The drone can carry packages that weigh up to 5 pounds and are about as large as a shoebox.
Checkout experience is the same. You go on. If your item that you purchased is drone delivery, that'll show up as an option on your checkout. You'll get a little aerial image of your property with some predetermined delivery points. You select where you want that package dropped off at, and you should have it in less than 2 hours.
It costs about $5 for the drone delivery. In other markets, no word on what the price will be here.
Chicago is having a moment. That's what Mayor Johnson told business leaders this morning. He says he has the numbers to prove it. More than 200 civic and business leaders were there. It was the executive's Club Soul of Chicago program in River North. Listen, the whole vibe was about changing the narrative, show what is actually happening here. An $886 billion regional economy, the biggest quantum tech hub in the country, and homicides at a 60-year low. Deputy Mayor Kenya Merritt put it in a way that really landed.
I think Chicago is having a renaissance right now. And so when we talk about success, and I know that you have the economic outlook, it's more than what you measure, it's what you feel.
Now we all know that one homicide and one shooting, one violent crime is one too many, but the truth of the matter is homicides are down. And we will not stop until Chicago is the safest, most affordable big city in America.
The panel also talked about Chicago winning half of all business relocation competitions it enters right now, and a $7 billion development coming to the west side. Still ahead, let's eat.
Chicago Black Restaurant Week is here, and there are so many that you don't even know are Black owned. We preview a couple and tell you how it all started next.
Fox.
Time to eat. Chicago Black Restaurant Week is here, and this year is special with treats all over the city during this Black History Month.
This is our best damn Polish. Hey, that's what they call it. It's our best damn Polish.
Chef Royce at Soul Prime is ready for 2 weeks of cooking and eating.
This is a fan favorite. But I'm introducing it to us for Chicago Black Restaurant Week, and this is our tomahawk pork chop.
Chicago Black Restaurant Week is in full swing February 8th through the 22nd, and it coincides with Black History Month, with this year marking a milestone.
I said, well,
think I need to create something for my community.
Lauren Smith founded the food celebration back in 2015 to help Black-owned restaurant owners like Chef Royce, and this year it has more meaning.
Dr. Carter G. Woodson created Negro History Week 1926, so that was literally 100 years ago. Chicago Black Restaurant Week purposely fell on the second week in February, which is when Negro History Week was created. So 100 years of, anniversary of Negro History Week.
And after more than 3 years in Lincoln Park, Chef Royce is serving up food for the soul.
This dessert is called our pizza cookie. This is our renowned lobster avocado toast. This is a fan favorite. But I'm introducing it to us for Chicago Black Restaurant Week, and this is our tomahawk pork chops, our braised short rib ravioli. And this is a dessert that we're featuring only for Chicago Black Restaurant Week, which is our lemon mascarpone cake. Can't wait to serve you guys.
But wait a minute.
So can I order that on the side, those famous wings that I
Yo,
love?
famous chicken, yes, Dawn, I apologize. It is on the menu, girl. I would not ever, period, I would not ever delete that. I think the world needs to have that. So the fried chicken with my spicy bourbon sauce is on our Chicago Black Restaurant Week prefix menu.
Awesome.
Shrimp and grits, chicken and waffles, and we got this amazing French toast as well.
And a few miles away, the Duplex Restaurant and Bar has been a hit since 2021. Laquan Rice proud to have his Black-owned restaurant on the list out of Logan Square.
I think I'm the only one in Logan Square. I think Logan Square has been great for me. They've been very welcoming. The people that live in the neighborhood, the other restaurants that we can side with, I think they've been great.
With a DJ spinning on weekends and brunch and dinner weekly, it's a vibe.
Got this great atmosphere, right? So we got a DJ that's on. The DJ comes on at noon, goes into 4 o'clock, and there's times where you see people lying dancing in the space.
And for Black Restaurant Week, an elevated menu.
We started out with bread service. I think like some of the second course part of it, we got a great gorgonzola wet salad. And then the bronzino, which I love bronzino fish. If you're not into seafood at all, we also have like a vegetarian option, which is our tortellini pasta.
A menu just as diverse as the list of Chicago restaurants participating.
Check out the list for Chicago Black Restaurant Week. Obviously, we want you here. And I think it's a really good time to kind of give back while you're doing so.
It's so important that y'all get out here and support us, not just Soul Prime, but there's so many other restaurants. And we're just delighted. We're grateful to be a part of this.
These businesses deserve it. And you're going to eat good and drink good and whatever else good. Grab your cronies, get everybody out, and let's just eat.
So good. I'm so hungry. You hear my stomach is growling over here. But this week is so important, Black Restaurant Week, because there's still some long-standing gaps between capital, marketing, visibility, so it's much needed.
And she was saying that she started it 11 years ago, and it was a small list, and it's grown, and she said she's so happy when she sees one restaurant open other locations. Wow. She said they're successful because of it.
Yeah, and looking at the list, every cuisine is covered. Pan-African, something upscale, something for everybody.
In every part of the city.
Where's my cake, though? You didn't bring me no cake.
Ate that. Emily ate the ravioli.
Oh, Emily, she threw you under the bus. Okay, even though tomorrow's Friday the 13th, you won't have to worry about the weather being unlucky.
And it's only getting better. Emily has her full forecast after the break.
I'm Tino, and up next in sports, we're coming to you live from the Cubs spring training facility down in Arizona. We got the chance to catch up with Craig Counsell one-on-one. He shares his expectations heading into the season.
tonight on Fox.
Emily, tell us more about these temps. We just want to hear the numbers some more.
Yeah, well, they look fantastic. I think for a lot of us, you know, we're really looking forward to the 50s. Those are going to start tomorrow, last all the way through this weekend, and then possibly even into next week, too. Okay. So today's the coldest temps that we're going to feel for about a week around here. Let's take a check of your 5-day forecast. 52 degrees for your high on Friday. Saturday near 50. We're in the mid to upper 50s then going into early next week. And keep in mind that average is right around 35. So we're way above that. We're going to be about 20 degrees, if not more than that above average by Monday of next week. And then we're down to about 52 degrees on Tuesday. And it doesn't stop there. So going into Wednesday, Thursday, this is your temperature outlook from the 18th through the 22nd, and we're still strongly favored to see those above average conditions continuing. I think we'll start to see a little bit of a shakeup here by the end of next week. So closer to Thursday, Friday, we're going to start to see some cooler air wrapping in on the backside of a storm system. But even then, it doesn't look all that cold, so it's still going to be rather mild for February. Satellite and radar. Things have been pretty quiet here over the last few hours. A lot of us have been enjoying mostly clear to partly cloudy conditions. Tonight, we're going to be mostly clear to partly cloudy. Temperatures going to be dropping down into the mid to upper 20s. And then tomorrow morning, we have those southerly winds. It's going to help to kind of transport some of that warmer air. And with the help of a lot of sunshine on Friday, temperatures are very easily going to be warming up into the lower 50s. Then going into Saturday for Valentine's Day. In the morning hours, I think we're starting off the day with partly cloudy conditions, becoming nice and sunny for a few hours. And then after the sun goes down, there's going to be a storm system passing to our south. And this storm system, we've been tracking this pretty closely throughout the last several days. This particular model is trying to bring in some of those showers across the far southern sections of our viewing area, places like Kankakee County, Newton and Jasper counties. But I still think this is going to trend a little bit farther to the south. So again, I'm not overly concerned about rain chances this weekend. If we end up seeing any of those showers, it's going to be our far southern tier of counties, and that's about it. Everywhere else is just looking at some cloud cover Saturday night. For tonight, 28 degrees, 7-day forecast. Tomorrow, 52, lots of sunshine. On Saturday, we're going to see a high temperature of 50, 54 on Sunday, partly cloudy skies, a little bit more in the way of cloud cover early next week. And then by Wednesday and Thursday, we have a chance of showers. Temperatures should start to cool down a bit by Thursday. Back to you.
Thanks.
Day 2 of Cubs spring training just wrapped up.
And there are already lofty expectations for this team. Let's go live to sunny Arizona, where Tina Nguyen has the latest. Tina.
Yeah, hey guys. Well, we've been down here in Arizona all week long. Have spent the last 2 days with the Cubs. And the sense I get around this team right now is that Game 5 loss in the NLDS, it still stings. But bigger picture, it gave this team a taste as to what it's like to make a postseason run, to play baseball in October. Jed Hoyer was telling me in his career, some of the best seasons come after a postseason run that fell short. But now this team is turning that disappointment into motivation as they prepare for the upcoming year, as well as making it back to the postseason.
You look at this team on paper, obviously we're very capable. There's no question in my mind. Losing is motivating for sure. So, I mean, that was the best thing to come out of the postseason, I feel like. So, yeah, I mean, getting experience at Wrigley was one of the coolest things in my life, and nothing has compared to that yet.
You go into the playoffs and having it end so abruptly it's kind of just a sour taste in your mouth. And you know, the guys we brought in and just talking with the guys, you know, we're here to win, and I think that's the mindset coming into this camp, and I think it's something that's going to really drive us.
Well, you look at the players that they have on this roster now. Overall, a pretty veteran group. They've got depth in the rotation. Add in a bat like Alex Bregman. He's going to have an instant impact in the lineup. The Cubs really look like serious contenders, especially, though, if they can stay healthy here. Craig Counsell got the chance to talk with him one-on-one as he shares his expectations for the upcoming season.
Look, it's hard to get where we got last year, and I think it's hard to get on teams like this. And I think it makes you really want to just like be in the present and kind of enjoy this and understand that everything you do every day leads to like what happens in the month of October, and it leads to like having a good season. So it does the work for itself almost, if that makes sense. And it is motivating, and it does feel like you got the taste of something so sweet, and then you want more of it. You want that month of October to continue. You want those feelings from games at Wrigley Field in October to be. You want more of it, and you want that for the fans because you know it's such a great experience.
Hungry for more. You just heard there from Craig Counsell. And to watch the extended interview, head on over to our YouTube page at Fox 32 Chicago. By the way, Craig Counsell coming up more on CST Daily along with ESPN 1000's Jesse Rogers. Cassie Carlson also chats with former Bear and Super Bowl champ Dan Hampton. We'll see you for CST at 6 on the Fox local app, as well as 9:30 right here on Fox Chicago. Terrence and Don, I'll send it back to you guys in studio. And we're headed back home to Chicago tomorrow. By the way, I'm going to bring this sunshine with me.
Well, it's been
back to you guys.
Nice here. You are lucky, though, out there in Arizona. Thanks, Tina. Emily has one final check of that forecast when we come back.
Minute oil change.
I don't know why I'm just so suspicious of this nice weather. Like, are we allowed to enjoy it?
Well, because usually when we have this, we're also talking about storms and
around the bend or something.
But the next several days around here, it just actually looks nice. It's just going to be nice. We can take it. So nice and sunny tomorrow. Temps are going to be right around 52 degrees. For Valentine's Day on Saturday, highs should be right around 50. We're at 54 with partly cloudy conditions on Sunday. Monday, even warmer, mid to upper 50s. I think we're in the 50s solidly until Wednesday. After that, that's when we start to see some cooler air building in.
Valentine's Day, so nice you could do a picnic outside.
There you go.
All right, thanks for joining us at 5 o'clock.
Now you can stream us on your smart TV with Fox Local.
We're on all the streaming platforms.
Family Feud is next. We'll see you back here for the news at 9.
At Postman